Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time, please do well to go back and subscribe. Very important. Anyways, I'll be teaching you in this video on how to change your closure without losing the entire wig. So this particular wig was given to me by my client. It's a 4x4 closure, although she wanted to change it to a 5x5 closure without losing the wig because she didn't have money to pay for rewigging. So anyways, it's still the same technique, so I'll be teaching you in this video how to do that. She wanted me to actually ventilate a new natural closure. Anyways, this is how the final look like. So in this video, I'll be teaching you how to change your closures without rewigging or losing the wig. So by this time, I'd already ventilated the natural looking 5x5 closure, and this is it. This is the old closure. I used part of the closure to ventilate, so that's why the closure is looking like this. So firstly, you'll make sure where your wig is placed on the dummy head is looking flat. Now I had to measure the side. This particular closure is a 4x4 closure, and I wanted a 5x5 closure. I wanted to use a 5x5 closure to replace, so I had to measure where I will have to cut out the 5x5 closure from. So if you are just replacing with the same size of closure, all you need to do is just to hold down the remaining parts of the wig with pins, just like I'm doing, then lose where the closure side is and just replace the closure. But here I'm replacing with a larger size of closure, and I have to measure where I am cutting out. You can see me pinning down the remaining part. I'd already measured the 5 inches. See, forget about how I'm measuring the particular beginning of the tape, the iron part, the measurement, it's not straight, so it doesn't give me a complete measurement. That is why I start by measuring from 1. So 1 to 6 is what gives 5 inches. So if your tape is correct, you can just do your normal measurements. So just forget about how I'm measuring. Anyways, just know that I am measuring a 5x5 because I want to cut out the remaining part. Now I've comfortably measured the 5x5. It means I'm still going to cut out of a particular line that was sewn, a particular strip of line that was sewn, and see me using pins to hold down the remaining parts firmly to the dummy head. Now, like I said, see me also measuring to check if it's okay. Like I said, now if you're replacing with the same size of closure, all you need to do, if the previous closure was a 4x4 and you're trying to replace with a 4x4, you just need to remove out the closure segments, pin the remaining parts down, and lose the closure away. You are not cutting out anything, you're just losing the closure away and replacing with the new closure. But because I am adding a particular inch, which I have to cut out a particular line that was sewn before to create a bigger space for the new closure, that is why I'm like this. So this is what you will get once you pin down and loose. You will get that empty space where you have to fix in your new closure. All right, so this is the new closure I ventilated, and it has excess lace, so I have to cut out the excess lace so that it can fit into the hair, since we are not rewigging and we are just adding a closure on it. All right, so I'll just cut out the net area and place well. Ensure all measurements you're doing is straight. Like now, it is more easier when you are losing and replacing with the same size of closure. It's just a bit tedious in placement because I'm using a different size of closure. All right, so I'm just trying to place the new closure carefully on the space that I have to cover, and making sure it is okay. First, make sure your line is on a straight line. That's the center part that is well centralized. And you can see, because I've created the right amount of space, I can just pin around. Make sure that everything, like you pin the remaining part of the hair to the closure so that you can sew well, like what I'm doing. You can see me pinning the closure to the remaining part of the hair so that I can easily sew the new closure to the hair. All right, see me, you can see I don't really need to use the whole wig and rewig from scratch. Anyways, please note that the replacing of closure solely depends on the size of closure. You cannot replace a 2x6 closure by a 4x4 closure without having to lose the wig. All right, so it depends if it's close, if it's a little bit close, or the same size that you want to replace the closure with. You can't replace a 2x4 or a 3x4 closure with a 5x5 closure that is larger without rewigging. So except you want to replace a 2x4 closure with a 2x4 closure, yes, or it's even still difficult to replace a 3x4 closure with a 2x4 closure. Do you get? So because of the way this wig was made, that is why I was able to replace a 4x4 closure with a 5x5 closure, because I noticed that I could cut out a particular line out. Do you understand? So if you can cut out a particular line out and it will perfectly fit in with the new closure you want to add, then it's okay. But you need to be actually skilled. So that's why I insist for beginners for replacements of same closure till you're perfect. And please, you cannot replace a 2x6 closure with a 2x4. No, you have to lose the wig. Do you understand? So I haven't pinned down the whole closure to the wig, to the remaining part of the wig. You can see how I pinned them down. There's no loopholes or anything, so I can be able to wig properly. All right, so I'll just go into wigging. So after carefully pinning down the closure to the remaining part of the wig, it is now time to sew the wig. Now the sewing is just the normal sewing, how you sew a wig or closure to the closure net. And guys, I'm planning to do a video on how to wig, but I'm still contemplating. So if you need a video on how to wig a wig, please put it in the comment section, let me know. Please do not forget, like I said, you cannot change a smaller closure to a bigger closure without losing the whole wig, except you're just adding an inch. And how do I explain it? This was easier. I will keep repeating myself. This was easier because there was a way I could maneuver. That is why I could change from a 4x4 to a 5x5 without having to lose the wig. All right, so this particular method is actually to replace same size of closure, except there's a way you can maneuver to a bigger size of closure, but not too big. All right, so and another thing that you should know, differentiating this one and if you are replacing with same size of closure, because I had to cut out of a strip. So normally if you're just replacing, like if I was replacing with the same 4x4 closure, I wouldn't cut out like a strip that was already sewn. I would have just pinned down the other part of the wig where the closure is not. I'll pin it down, lose where the closure is out, and just replace with the same size of closure. All right, but this one I had to cut out a line that was already sewn, which was close to the closure, so that it could give me fit in the 5x5. Do you understand? So you actually need to be calculative when you're trying to replace a closure without wigging. So if you also need a tutorial on how I made this hand ventilated closure, also put in the comment section below. I really appreciate that, so that I know if I can also make a video of it. But let me not just confuse you. Just use this particular method for same size closure. I think that will be better for you, except you have a way you can maneuver, but for beginners it's just better you go in with same size closure so that you would not be confused. And also with this method you cannot replace a bigger size closure with a smaller size closure. Like you cannot replace a 5 by 5 to a 2 by 6 without having to lose the wig, because the kind of space that would be created after losing the 5 by 5 closure would be too large for the 2 by 6 to cover, so you have to lose the wig. So this method is just effective for same size of closure. At this time I was already done with sewing. I'll just cut the remaining excess thread and knot very well, then cut out, remove the pins. You can see how it looks now, like perfect job done. You can see perfect job, you can see it. Hi, so this is the outcome, guys, looking so beautiful. So if you got something from this video, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed. See you in my next video. Bye.